Police discovered a body in an abandoned building. The victim's limbs were bound, and the muscle tissue had been mostly devoured by dogs. Additionally, the deceased's eyes had been gouged out by the killer. The coroner found multiple knife marks on the body. These were inflicted by the killer to make the flesh more appetizing to the animals. More critically, the victim was still alive when this happened. This brutally cruel method of murder and corpse disposal was similar to a case that occurred locally 2 years prior. The victim then was a 17-year-old female who had also been bound, torn apart, and had her eyes gouged out. Police had identified a gang member as the suspect, but due to lack of crucial evidence, they were unable to make an arrest. It appeared this case was likely committed by the same perpetrator. That evening, a female agent was on her way home when her phone suddenly dropped while she was making a call. This inadvertent act of picking up her phone saved her life, as someone had attempted to shoot her. The attack was likely the killer's attempt to stop the police investigation, confirming that the shooter was connected to the case. Angela performed a facial reconstruction on the skull and successfully identified the deceased as a 19-year-old student named Via, who had disappeared on her way back to her dormitory after school. An intern discovered traces left by a bullet passing through. Different gun barrels leave distinctive bullet markings. Now they just needed to identify this bullet's signature to determine what type of weapon the killer used. The intern found that the incisions on the skeletal remains were caused by a non-serrated blade. Similar knife marks were also found on the C5 vertebra, indicating the victim's throat had been slashed. However, the weapon used to gouge out the eyes was a different knife, one with a distinctive indentation. Officer Robert had worked undercover in the gang before, but had to return to the police force when his cover was blown. This gang's method of disposing bodies matched the current case. During their conversation, the female agent received a call from Hodgins, who had detected liver flukes in the dog's feces, a parasite found in cattle stomachs. This suggested the dogs at the crime scene were extremely hungry strays. The killer had likely used cattle liver to attract the dogs' attention, intending to lure them to the victim's body so they would maul and devour her. The male agent, worried about the female agent's safety, came to her home to protect her. But in the next second, disaster struck. A bomb blast sent him flying. Fortunately, he only suffered a fractured collarbone and 2 broken ribs. Even so, his greatest concern was still for the female agent, so he specifically brought in Agent Robert to continue protecting her. Angela analyzed the bullet's ballistic markings and discovered it came from a standard-issue police handgun, though the gun's owner still needed to be confirmed. Hodgins analyzed the explosive's chemical composition and found sulfur isotopes, a component only agents could obtain. These discoveries made the agents realize there must be a traitor within their ranks, putting the unsuspecting female agent in grave danger. At that moment, the female agent was investigating the case with Robert when he suddenly pulled a gun on her. Robert was the mole the agents had suspected. The male agent and Hodgins hurriedly left, trying to contact the female agent. By then, Robert had already taken her to an abandoned building. It turned out Robert was the killer of those women. His motive was the substantial reward the gang had given him, money he could never earn in a lifetime at the bureau. The female agent was then brought into a room with vicious dogs chained inside. Robert gagged her, then took out a knife and used a brick to create an indentation. Next, he planned to gouge out her eyes and cut through her flesh tissue, letting the vicious dogs enjoy this delicious feast. Just as Robert was about to act,